Lesson ya stati aba omi stati MPP fo ewom mpanifo ewom omo eya laagifo omo eye imamfo wa wonim se oyire wo MPP mu biala a wokodi ba omi achi wo baas nim no ne ho ofa ma ne nko
Samira me kana say wo fulani ni no ye hwe ma amfa ntokwa magana ho oba wo ye kromfo nya wo ye wo school a bepem samri wo aban we mu no efe wo pese wo ma ntokwa bagana na wo bokinani wo ni je ni wo fulani ni wo be kan ntokwa ma my Ghana enti wo mu wi aban kwan bi o mo be fa so bia
Alex Tete wa mo Honorable Agyapong communicators ye di Honorable Agyapong achi min sia ba ko a wo kan semo a ebuda hokroje a enti aba omia ade na ekoso wa hu so wa anya tactical NDC for be mafia NPP simple ese sa Ahmed Sualey case na da hono akwa na wo se na ntwibion e da ho na ehome tam bi NDC for betima peke e dia idom de be
I'm getting very angry. I'm beginning to think say Kennedy Akompre Japan has already lost the election. Sorry, me kasanko say the betende be kosoro. Me ye nepa bia baby a tetem ni antetem ya nkyere me se bi esi di atem. Enti me kasa me ndi atem de I will never do that. But the meka no kore me kyere madwene. Pe de akosoro no Kennedy Akompre Japan aya ne nkurofo no omo ye campaign we osi echikotie nsam omo ka. This is Honorable Alex Tete. This is the man Kennedy Akompre Japan team de krata ba say womo yine from campaign team because wakoka said tia Dr. Muhammad Bawumia. This is the same Alex Tete team koma wodi. Alex Tete say wo yire e join Dr. Muhammad Bawumia campaigner e ma ne nkobi esanse sabi mpredu asamoni mu adebusia Dr. Muhammad Bawumia ene wo yire beda. This is a senseless talk. This is a childish talk. We kasa we sabi nyansanim. Is this a campaign message? We na ye campaign na mo yade ama Kennedy no. Necessary na tie de ende sa Dr. Muhammad Bawumia ne nkrofo yere bedi da de ende Kennedy Akompre Japan na wo ye campaign ma no. Me ba to buza se wona ngba do se na wo ne ma 22. Nkrofo mpinafo mo. Sabi na ma na bi ne nkrofo betwe mpina bet sikenti. Yes, because omu nyina anya virgin. You omu nyina sa 22 na can say ma 22 no ma me obi anu a minji ni se no omu nyina na virgin. Enti nkomo na wudi ni sabi mu di nkomo ya campaign na mamo candidate ya. Mu di nkomo sabi e di nyansa beba fie. This is Honorable Alex Tete. Wasan se Kennedy can say Samira Bawumia teni we fulani ni na waden tokwa beba Ghana. The tribal politics we've been preaching about. This is what the Honorable Alex Tete edi hu nkomo. Me nim ni position e wo Kennedy campaign mu me I don't know. But the way nkomo na wodi no it is very senseless. An Honorable Alex Tete papa penny honorable eso wudin so e be di san nkomo we sesa wo yere na mo de mo ye no we campaign no de mo ye campaign Dr. Muhammad Bawumia because nkomo na mo di no sesa obi yere e join cancer Bawumia on sign isansa Bawumia na beda and the Kennedy Akompre Japan kobusa na yere no say obi ana na we virgin na and the kobusa say na yere no ye sign and yanka mama kura ndi Kennedy echi emma kura nkwa na mama kura kubi enti mu ya campaign sabe wo de tie enkomo Alex Tete wo bedi no waka nsem ba mienu miensa bomu a wo yembe hyew tibira
lesson ya stati aba omi stati MPP fo ewom mpanifo ewom omo eya laagifo omo eye imamfo wa wonim se oyire wo MPP mu biala a wokodi ba omi achi wo baas nim no ne ho ofa manenko because niema esisi wo during campaign time no empono obi a ono ankasa de nana ode ba omi abejoin ne campaign a omoma ni waiver no oba woni na dakura ba omi aso ne kodai nti ba omi ade se wo yire kan campaign ni ho ampacho mani ntene fi no ne de no wo kura efe ne nani nso sisi wanya bibia no enkofo MPP mpanifo obi apese ba omi ene ne bankoda obi apese Bawumia emfa ne ba nti wom de semila ne de wom de naye photoshoot keke mesre se ne ekono Ghana fo pese ye je power MPP fo nso ade omu ye ne se omu pese ewi ni by premise we Bawumia Brian Champon Kennedy Agyapong Educhum Kwabre Agyapong ono no pese Bawumia wi ni the main lesson na omu badwen ho ne de omu nwen ho omo pese omo sisi olusu we ya omo besa de number 2032 omo besa de number 2036 omo besa de number 2042 debi media me this ready nyina ne say e kwan a ba wo me ade party na fa so no kwan a wo ma ofa so a okodidi o ma abronye sika no okodidi don kam William atem no Christians wo krum asisi nipa 20 a started northern region omo wo ye tribal politics wo ko kan bidi omo so wo ye tribalism mesre e Christopher wo krum aso MPP for say omo de ba wo me abeba bi ma ba wo me ne ma abronye kodidi don kam William atem
but I'm not funny track because me and my funny say lesson we now you do and die lesson. I swear to God, say lesson of petition I'm the upper BNI, national security, IGP, NPP. Man can't be there. Maybe mom say, but we are planning, the team near planning, send a bay on best the upon it. Since you almost in Kofua, a bomb over Henna. Omodi security na no kita 10 nipa 10 ombefa consequence dia 10 efi asa northern region ombi omo security ni be fisire mu na aba na me se me de chip aso o manka so omo lidi mu nti ni omo ye bi omo ji obi afo including Samira Baomi akora afo omo ji enso ade na information no e wo me omo ji Samira Baomi bunkoto do ensumpa chaw so omo mani kon wi ni Samira me kana say wo fulani ni no ye hwe ma amfa ntokwa magana o oba wo ye kromfo nya wo ye wo school a bepem samri wo aban we mu no efe wo pese wo ma ntokwa bagana na wo bokinani wo ni je ni wo fulani ni wo be kan ntokwa ma man Ghana enti wo mu wi aban kwan bi o mo be fa so bia se me na sun ebu nkotodwe pachew mo sorry amudi information ba media ne so a mo mfa proper information o mu nim se ne krachi kan no eye be yisi madam se wan kasanche wakola na eniema omo ye no munye ni easy sawo because me my election say do and die the pamacho Ghana security mun kanche ba wo me say abano ne oye no so be print the same thing about yisi for e de no pe me say me di jakwa kotum omwe no friends baby a printer press na o ma giatum no mo printer press no me ma inve bibia wo mesem me di jabetum se mo percent people for mo percent mo fa blood more dia mo kanche ba mo dia mo percent mo fa blood more.
This is a campaign message ya what's the kwabonte is that not it na mo no I say NPP amyoko no I say ye nimpanimfo ma sabe mpreduasa won beti san krofu ateno no won de etwo mo chimpre mo to na we papa yi e kan sam sei na Dr. Muhammad Baumia no o mre todo he's very omre nanti nipa ye na de ha no mate say waba abonte aba be kasa but mo leader no enkomo no a wodi no ne kan wo kan Ezekiel 16:44 say like mother like daughter now like father like sons enkomo no amudi no campaign message na wose mo de man krofo abonten many aman krado ya adwena man krado unpredictable and unbreakable aman krado unpredictable right wabedi nkomo bi say ade no NDC for gidigidi say Kennedy mra no mo adwene de ntira anka wo opponent adwene say we ne yemfa no mra they have a message they have a campaign message and unpredictable among crowd am a message say me family ti nsem wa among crowd can be ewa ti bibra
to transform Ghana. What I want to say to you is that have confidence in me. It is not the money in your pocket that will allow you to transform Ghana. It's the ideas in your head that will allow you to transform Ghana.
What Asem say I'm a tea Anna and Nema Soria. My imagine say Medin Komokakra Ediafa MPP presidential candidate Yomokwa this year 2026. Dr. Mahmoud Baumiana target in United Ejinaneso. Now Mesha Honorable Agyapong Enkrofua Edinechi a mo campaign manwa. Me want to say omo ready say omo boa ma Honorable Agyapong awini. Minya sure. From the look of things, we have Manti Honorable Agyapong here. Most of them are insult on na enura meti video bi a na etwagu aya branche Alex Tete ana di video ni ba bonten metie video ni wiye no kura ni nyame anim mewra ho pa ma Dr. Mamudu Baumia ana misuye ema eye honorable Ken Agyapong se enipa bi sei edi nachi a ye campaign ede man se oba bewini as a presidential candidate for NPP party tie ade no had me say meba
Mom funny track because ni many ambre my funny say lesson we na
where Alex Tete and kasa
I swear to God say
oni
lesson of petition am dey aba BNI national security IDP MPP man kan bibia me dey mom say ba o me planning the team ne planning say dey be your best dey aba ne be man ti so mo say kofo a e bom
yo o see Baumia plan say umbe wia abanum amano. Honorable Agyapong member wo. Communicator for Honorable Agyapong. Say Alex Tete kroya na baby e twa mencha kra wo. O say da ba bonten ye say odidi Honorable Agyapong atam ana ne mawai ni mani ho. Ana me na me campaign mano. Ana me na me gie nim guase me hu sa dem se no. We a game. Ancha wo say wo sen akasa ama Honorable Agyapong. Sabe ya obe wini election. What are NTNC? Na men kasem mi chiro.
Omodi om security na no kita 10, nipa 10. Ombafa consequence dia 10. Efi asa northern region. Omdi omo security ni be fisiri mu.
Serious game o.
Na me se me de chip aso man kasa omo lead ni.
Okay.
Enti ni omo ye bi omo ji obi afo including Samira Baumia akwa afo omo ji. E so ada na information no e wo me. Omo ji Samira Baumia bunko to do sumpa chaw so omo mani kun wi ni. Samira
Asante Agudi Crown. Asante Agudi Crown.
Now, Bokinani, who Niger, who Fulani, who become to come on my Ghana. Into 1 year, Banquembi on Boba Fasudia.
The dangerous thing in politics is ethnocentrism. The dangerous thing in politics. Ethnocentrism, what he called tribalism. Who? Ebina Honorable Agyapong ko for national say. Honorable Agyapong ko Eastern region okoke kan bi. Na ano adene. Ne nkwada ne so agi na chi no, ne communicators no so kan no mo ka bie. Se Ghana ni abie. Amanfo agi mu abie. Nyansa atamanfo agi nim. Almighty Honorable Agyapong. Campaign in Crawford Yamano. Where is the message? Baumia Baba Knassin or Canning someone was say. So was the cat diamond. And then only a deep war mine. The obet media war mine. Any ideas ever watch him. And then was the cat. May the buyer company away. I'm here a bunch of factory. Ethanol, then the factory. Way. The ideas. Ben no bet me I explore a ordinary person. I want to go. I want you Ghana. Ideas. Me want to say, I say NDC for more no I support Agyapong. Most of NDC members push said young Agyapong, including President of the land. John Dramani Mahama, I stand to be corrected. Our money speech now, I say, outdoor Honorable Agyapong in a very nice way. Sir, Honorable Agyapong once said, change doesn't need us. We doesn't need change. Change needs us. I know the Honorable Agyapong didn't a reference. At this time, ask yourself why. Mama, another critical example. How on earth will a Kwasi Pratt? I will be enemy said. Wajina NDC Fuechi, Akasama Oma support on several occasions. With all due respect, I stand to be corrected though. And then, also, Osu, I'm a Honorable Agyapong. Yeah, Papa Kwasi Pratt. How come? I know one. Who knew you? And your body number 1 What is that? Said Honorable Ken Japan and Koba Bia so kwa interview. Or kwasi platform so interview. And I cheer the app. What comes in mind? My memo on the ATN and Babetanasi. NDC party, one of the best strategies. One of the best strategies here. NPP, NDC, they are more. Very smart when it comes to politics. Mama Chawa Deli. And Jakrana, Ahmed Sualey. Now, some Sabaya, Honorable Ken Japan be in video. Our Montesuma and the penny name, because hey, so we say that Anasi Chino. And check no see a Coco Kuno. Emma and Sambe Baba Momka say, Honorable Ken Japan, on a Kunuman, on your Nas Ukrainian problem, Kasiapa, Emma no home court. Tie, and Namasu, Emma say America Croba, the green card, who said baby, Tie. And check on your see a chia brantiana, or the picture. Kokoma Honorable Ken Japan, or the Ahmed Sualey picture. Kokoma Honorable Ken Japan, no. I bet you differ. I stand to be corrected on this analysis. TNA. Sabrantian, yes, I channel. Abrantia namne suma Honorable Ken Japan, and Saka Ahmed Sualey picture. No. Almost say Yachi Sabrantian. The other picture come Honorable Ken Japan. Now Honorable Ken Japan saw some picture or the area body. Oba Bontibe declare say. Ahmed Sualey no di anasi chia blah 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 no onye say Obama premises had me say ya blah 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 blah. The next few hours ahead of us, then and I see a abrantiano around area B around Medina area horum baby wobra no apa adwuma okofie tikwaye nzembebre ema na sini Honorable Ken Japan nya ho ntawantawa bebre. Yeso sa boy no de picture come Honorable Ken Japan no ya che no. Minim si agya no sa asem ni guso pende e court. Okay, no idea. So Honorable Ken Japan try say obey presidential candidate ama NPP. Tienie. Ya fa say we wini empire me bono no. Say ka Honorable Ken Japan wini. Na the odie ba omia during 2024, no, I'm for the Biana on fairly. The NPP, some of the MPs, and the whole NPP body, or they are mono, none come the Biano, none quite fairly. Let me be said, I'm to about where we are. Next year, 2027. 2027 into 2028, you know. One year, NDC 4, ever try said, I'm be peja. Ahmed Sualey ni wo ho nsensem ama so many Honorable Ken Japan rekra na politics o make man dribble at any given time as far as Ahmed Sualey case near concern ko say video near the politics there o make me the bibia touch frustrate you look at tama won to me no ka say odi court akoni aba was standing for national chairman or NPP. Just check the caliber of chairman to me. The energy when it comes to politics. Additional 2024 Ashanti region. Chairman to me was here who answer. Says I was standing as national chairman. Why a very young, energetic manner. Or the energy and the flow. What they say? What they say? Why am and this is what tapono. And you so what we create a campaign so standing for national chairman. What do you mean a campaign? I didn't ever know the campaign. Say two man say national he looks frustrated. Last thing said Honorable Ken Japan 2027 into 2028 for the election. NDC for the best strategics when it comes to politics. Explore strategy, you know. A few months. A few days to election. And at that time, so Honorable Ken Japan or a presidential candidate. Or the president. And any tactical lobby can swap him. So let's take for instance. Honorable Ken Japan say, Ahmed Sualey in seven. Ya person be you who ano kakra wom. They are all campaign. Ya de call Nabra time or the bako dina campaign so near the channel. Ko nabra. Obe frustrated. Look at how Agyapong to me. What he is going through now. NPP Prime Minister Kosi. On Timmy Yede. Obi himself. Why die hard fun for Baumia. But look at him now. He can't explore. I say energy in your papa. Adentia. Amania dinosaur one kumwe. Don't joke with NDC. Don't joke with NDC. Ada na busa NDC ni bia. Was say yamfa ayimra. Honorable Agyapong mra. Adentia. Ask yourself. Adentia na busa NDC ni bia. Was say yamfa Honorable Agyapong mra. Look at Baumia. And some of you come for Baumia. Almost as year 2008. 2008. And you shall see kind of handsome. Honorable Agyapong no more samba kope. So bakaya 2008. Yakoto aba na NDC for sense MPP na Honorable Agyapong dey before Babonten. Either 2008 or 2012. Yeah, one of this year. Honorable Agyapong Babonten be kan sem be twi ay before. As almost a pass comment be as wa pass tribal sentiment comment. Sa abatwana Nanado enya 49.77 something. I stand to be corrected. Sa na Honorable Agyapong kan no. E koso party ni papa. E koso party ni deep. Omo pe NPP yi. Sa tribal sentiment in oguso kan. And you just imagine. Say yakoto abahona Agyapong ya tusu as presidential candidate we wini. When bet my control Honorable Agyapong. When bet my chance say okwa akasei, okwa odi just imagine. When bet my control Honorable Agyapong. Honorable Agyapong to the NDC, kwa Agyapong so obamana lusu secretary our NPP olusu ye. Otu the NDC say John lusu ye. Otu the NDC say John olusu ye. How a kumsin otu the NDC so why you obey bia. And then I do so. Or see and twabamano. Some crofwe in ba coupe and a film. Order MPP MPs out moving grudges. And it's a assassin we say. So Honorable Agyapong we need ya. Tell Ben MPP for betima some this differentials. That's en crofwe saying in anthem. And say about 2028. Don't forget Mahmoud Baumia. One yere. And say someone. Honorable Agyapong Ekafano during 2023 NPP presidential primaries Amokoy. Adiana ekoso wahu. So anya tactical. NDC for be mafia NPP simple. Ese sa Ahmed Sualey case na da hono. Akwa na wo se na ntwibion e da hono e home. Tabu bi NDC for betima peke e dia idom de beye. Metesi I say o machi boy no on the picture come Honorable Agyapong those pictures live on TV no metesi I say action no kore te boy na ye tie no any ni pa wo tire TV so any boy the picture kire ye any Ahmed Sualey picture kire ye any metina say ya te boy na ade tina Honorable Agyapong ma sin don't joke with NDC. At the whole KBB 2027 2028 ebetima popping up at any time. O say this for by one touch Honorable Agyapong. Obi say oh yeah juma diama NDC for entina omon kana semno a whole lot circulating whether be it true or false. Ba omi ejina ho na Honorable Agyapong ejina ho na yes ye check obi a our governance ideas. Who are you going to choose? Na say tia yo ana Honorable Agyapong ko for Babonten mo kire say Honorable Agyapong ko for Babonten mo kire say aya asen ho no Honorable Agyapong so ama boy adwuma oba ba bonte ba betene to say o ma obi adwuma bi oboa Honorable Ken Agyapong wonum kasa say ya amamu a Donald Trump Oscar or America president America system ne say na eko cost of living standard of living say na eko aya Obama bro mo ko to a mo ko prime minister no mo tusu no as a presidential candidate for Democrats no na esikafo bebire edinachi but Obama esikafo no Obama Obama why they look at ideas mind governmental ideas and ya de check niema obi osika pa atu se osika but abusuafo tena se na se bia ye kan fie nsem a ni nyansa wode ba esa kokahwe aba bi oni kapre ode nyansa to foma na ehumi se twe boxing ye kro ya prewina our boxing mu a do baba punch dodo a correct punch Obama count wa wini we a presidential race Mahmoud Bawumia Dr. Aduchum Kwabra offer Kwabra Agyapong Brian Champon Honorable Ken Agyapong Bawumia na oya target now onesusu enususu ye akonya ne ye pre say ye pre akonya ade aso betimi de atu nipa akonya no eda ne so eye nsem a eye kroje a ensem fata a sa nipa kro no wadie Bawumia wanya kromfo Giri ade bi enu abetimi de akekere no nti adane se ye be kan nsem ye be na atanie ade agu ne yire hufin aka nsem a ensem fata ade ase ni din eka ntro ade ato no so yeniana one of the presidential candidates for ya presidential race members yi ba ko ka say Bawumia offer something $billion so on step it out ye come na entro na no twa na oboa wanje before January 31st mama wani na ho na obi anfa so kwan ma medana ma chenchena monkai hunu say money NDC ana ekọ okun no enya any ordinary party bia money NDC ana ekọ okun no they are very smart in this game adentina mo opponent no abo no mo kona NDC for no omo try ya say ombe guba Bawumia ni mu ase na mo heli Honorable Ken Agyapong adom person be santena abamu mu biewa na menkan diem netie adentina NDC for members sabotage Bawumia in all means be on betimi dia on betimi dia afloor it down now omu heli Honorable Ken Agyapong. Have you thought of that? Obanya safu ebu ni be yankana sem monfa dine nante NPP delegates ade a Honorable Ken Agyapong dia ye party na ama 2024 party ne ho anya kono ama nemo bre monfa bi nyado showdown NPP4 matchram mobile resort to be na Ashanti region NPP4 J Honorable Ken Agyapong di broso but Oma nyine se Honorable Ken Agyapong ni bufuna okasa onfa ho asema woka onfa ho ba bia ogina January 31st mon chani mpanifo afutuo akono ni bi yetufu no wantia ahini etuwa eno ni egina so ede kansam ede utwe ede twen free sa ahini ne ho se yesa na Honorable Ken Agyapong tiase a efiri woko ogina ba bia na okasa na numu nsem obema eho ate ebe yakono ama na to nipa koma so osan ba bia mbre ne so na so onya opportunity no oba na numu nsem ya de no ogine mfunso otumwa na mato aba man na ye kwa akoto aba na ye pese enipa ento aba man ya kansama Alex Tete Alex Tete gina montia woka
I'm funny traffic because in any umbrella, my funny say, lesson we now you do and die lesson.
Okay.
I swear to God, say lesson of petition I'm the upper BNI, National Security, IGP, NPP, man can't be there. maybe mom say planning said we planning said the be on best the abanis be man this you almost nkofo a bomb be hwe na uti asem we a kan ya wa consider defeat already ahead of time wa consider defeat ama honorable Agyapong ahead of time yantu abani nwieye wa sha ase ka se ana mu wi abam o be so mu wi maba omia Alex Tete wa mo honorable Agyapong communicators ye di honorable Agyapong chi minsia ba ko a wo kasem a ebuda hokroje a entia ba omia ye kwa akoto aba ba omia ni vote ya ba akopɛ ni ni vote ya ba akopɛ ni papa ti ase ni vote ba akopɛ ni maame ti ase ni vote ba akopɛ na danfu bi ana se obi opena se ni vote yesen kasema ni padodo na di akire no etie be ko masum forget about ba omia se wo bia wo di na tem na wo kasem bia ma ne ho ba tan se nipa no okoto aba no utimi kasem be wura na adwimu a forget about ba omia kokogina omoncha obeka enfo mo ho etisa oba pew waso oba pe no wadi atum se wo pew dia ne ma be beka eyawe papa beka eyawe dia obi abeka fa ho eyawe enti attacking oba na won se oso pe be ma no wonya hwio attacking people around the person wonya hwio kan samuel wo ba no ebeto ni ti oba hu se be ma ye yase me kwa kopani me ntwe me ho utime nka ana be ma ne kotisa ana be ma no e kwadefo ana be ma no oba ne so ope no e de ba se na wo kan wo so pe sa ba ayo no e de ba se na wo be kan betima convince oba ne se obetima chiama wo e ko jana mi woska betima ho maami betima ho papa me we ama me si dan we ama me si apose to aso mi ensama ba o mi anso na masie din maami fo ani to me so wate wo mema wani age wo wi ase a obaye me de mi sika bia me de be ma wo but me make sure say mema wanya daache na ohia wo wo ne wo maami eno papa fie me try kwan bia so say obi ansa be ko na no pa wi animre now abusuafo dodo inform bedding emegu so maami umpewe onso promise oba say obesi dan ma no obato arupia ma no obewe esi ama no na say oba na abusuafo gina ho na bema all promises say me make sure say papa na maami abusua obi ansa be ko na no anopa awia ne anwumere metra means bia say me bio magin ama mahunu say ye business ni padodo na nsa kan bio na wo promise na so was kanyina no what do you promise oba ne nkwa ne maami ante de e wo promise nim papa ante de e wo promise nim soa bia ante de e wo promise nim enua bia ante de e wo promise nim ana ba omi aka say so person was settle we are oman a enye sika wo botom o eye ideas enipa mudi ho na boka Agyapong chi ni sika beberebe yi mantima enya asem bia betimi aka e beto amanfo akoma so chen said da bia ba attack ba omia ne yira yesei wa yesei that first never know honorable Agyapong Lusua I will blame all of you. All the communicators of honorable Agyapong, I will blame all of you. Money na nini ye. Man kasa mwa ebeti mama nipa dia mo mo say honorable Agyapong oya rowdy. Oya keka. Ni bufu ntem. Man ti man kansa bi ebeti mi ama man for that perception man for the fa no. Man ti man kansa bi a ebeti ma vindicate no. E o sade no. Ko obi attack ya wo kan say honorable Agyapong mu ade on family for nyahwe ama masase boni old voices mu amudi na chi nso no the way am kasa no mo mana kwa say ye ka say ampa kankofo edi na chi kura Ghana fo nya mo wo mati omudi security na no kita 10 nipa 10 ombefa consequence dia 10 efi asa northern region omdi security ni be fisiri mu na aba na me se me de chip aso man kasa omo lidi
look at this
nti ni omo ye bi omo ji obi afun
ya de bia ka
se me aba omi akora afun omo ji e so ade na information e wo me omo ji se me aba omi ebun to bi nsum pa so omo mani kun wi ni se me kan na say wo fulani ni no ye hwe ma on to kwa magana o ba wo ye no ya wo ye wo school
I can't continue with this video.
Ebusa me ne amankra do ya adwene. Efa bi ekwan bi because NDC for afi na mate ase de ntia. Womun kan Kennedy asem no afi na mate ase de ntia. Omun bo Kennedy asem so no the people na no kan asem say enkrofo the Ghanaians themselves call for ne maye yes even NDC for some do we buy but ampa afi na mate ase I've now gotten them because Ahmed Sualey issue no at the home. Almost so me say almost judge kromasa no IGP ko entinu se we no campaign messages so se Kennedy accomplish me can straight se Kennedy nya abatu ya me to abakora che but se Kennedy nya abatu ya wan NDC for the bia me kaso mo nya campaign nche ebra was se Kennedy accomplish ko Japan ekoye campaign 2028 election obedi court ya akone abese ya obedi court ya akone abese ya into nya message to give to the people so the omode ye would chema wontumi no sa na NDC for appalling nsemegu a se Kennedy wini a enkomo mo bedi no obekwa abasa Kennedy bedi court ya akone abese ya enti na NDC for pre wo man no yes enti na NDC for pre wo man no but when we tidi for no omunim ana omunam etiri no mo to ayampia kan nsem wanim kan nsem wakese nanka denti na wo say Alex Tete honorable like you ebe din komo we say Samira Baumia say Samira Baumia woden tokwa beba Ghana look at this. I'm very ashamed. Me respect you, but I'm very ashamed of you. Honorable, me near wutu. Why? Don't tell my home about when the vote you're saying. Oh no, near in the vote you're saying. Oh, mammy and the vote you're saying, said your man crowd kind. Oh, papa and the vote you're saying. Not down from the vote you're saying. And in the Munshamunya campaign, my channel Muhutu, a certain political, a certain candidate. And I am Majiatum so well, Lucy. Majiatum. Have you accepted defeat? Some more accepted then the Munko grounds. Tell the people what Kennedy accomplished with Japan will do. Now when I say what tackle nipa back, what time? Me who is away what time? This is not campaign. This is kind of typical hatred. What time? Edia, more the day. I mean, delegate, but enkomono amudi we tire no. I know what thing. Me say NDC for be you see Ahmed Sualey. Issue no. Edia NPP asante ne fi. Se Kennedy wini mo de mo ntena ho na yaka mamunti mo ndwene say Dr. Mohammed Bamia wanye the right candidate, wanye the good candidate. Me say delegate no mokoto aba no. Enye de wo kan eno wo muti o. De ono no de odwene ne mada ache no. Ena wo odwene bebi obeto aba de afa. Enti sa dandam na moye sa propaganda na mo ankasa NPP amayukura ankasa mo party ba kum na moye no. It is not going to help. And is okase so wo yere join Dr. Mohammed Bamia campaign team na se ho fa sign Dr. Mohammed Bamia and the beda we no awo kam we no eto aba na obi na namo kire se me ba anye scan eye o man yinamum eye ideas enti mo so mo preach mo candidate no na mo njai sa atem de no it is getting too much na nti de mo ye mo feel say 2028 mo benya campaign message de Ghanaians NDC for nya campaign because sibi o mesia ahoro no na delegate no mesrɛ mo abato na mokoto no montie enkomo a certain candidate etidifo eka na wo wia na wasan be kase we mu kase eno de mon kantiro this is the man this is the man omo de krata ba so omo yinefi campaign message omo campaign team no but this is the same man wo gina enkomo wodi no so obetwaja de ato NPP Dr. Mohammed Bamia can say it's printing press bill so they obekwa kotwaja de ato was a Ghana police for idu amonche no mumbusa densem adentro obetwaja ato. This is a childish talk. For your campaigner, show me your campaign. Ne jai say why you jandam just honorable papa peniti. I'm very ashamed of you. But all the same, me pese me kasa bebre me pese me diafa. I have kind of Smart Africa Media. Yanko comment section yanko kudin komo. Let's go and have a chat today because this is typically hatred. Me to abakurachi. But adiana one more year we chiri hono time. to extend the ultimate say Samira ba me book to just a month ni kunumra nanka ma me Christian Japan na ma bonte nanka dia na waka ne message ni say ne campaign message ni say nya ne campaign message ansa month mi kunumra nanti nka om nka mpacho nka Kennedy nka Samira ba omia ko me kan che Ghana for sen ko meto aba maka Kennedy Japan na campaign message bi all the mother people of Ghana ya ye tie chikura na ye ndru mo level no kura hunu sa asem na o kan doesn't make sense. And to obu kotodwe se momfa mi kunumra hantin ko me bu kotodwe se me ba me mu kotodwe se mesra mo ma Kennedy akompre ko Japan bra na. Does this make sense to you, honorable Alex Tete? We know it make sense to wankasa okotena wasan tie nkomo na wodi no mo tie wi a aya mo nsan me delete free social media social media de beko mon kenyan sam kakra sabe ebusu na fa chemi bia me kasa na no aidin bitindi odman ko bana na kofi fema asante gudi sraw delegate no we no tujim onkoto waba aka 12 days na bibia ba na wiye. Smart Africa Media, subscribe, like, na fi san shema makro.